माननीय सभासदों, माननीय अध्यक्ष जी,
विद्वानों के बीच में आना पड़ता है ना। आइटम नंबर 13 श्री BL वर्मा जी।
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय,
यस अलाउ यू नो बाबू जी।
6 जुलाई 2021 को नए सहकारिता मंत्रालय के गठन के बाद माननीय प्रधानमंत्री के सहकारिता समृद्धि के विजन को अकल्पनीय तरह से पूरा करते हुए हमारे माननीय केंद्रीय मंत्री जी ने की ओर से जो प्रस्ताव किया है कि मैं प्रस्ताव करता हूं कि बहुराज्य सहकारी सोसाइटी अधिनियम 2002 का और संशोधन करने के लिए विधेयक को पुनर्स्थापित करने की अनुमति दी जाए।
Sir, I rise to oppose the introduction of the Multi-State Cooperatives Amendment Bill 2022 under Rule 72(2) of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha and as per the provisions of the Constitution of India. Yes, sir, I am coming to...
इस पर कभी इस पर डिबेट हो जाना चाहिए। ये डिबेट हो जाना चाहिए। जो कानून आप पढ़ते हो 72(2), ठीक है ना। डिबेट क्या है कि इस संसद को इस कानून को पास करने की विधायी क्षमता है ना, ये विषय है ना। अब मेरे शायद में आपसे ज्ञानी कोई नहीं है। मल्टी स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव एक्ट जब से बना, मैं कोऑपरेटिव में रहा हूं, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का एक्ट है और राज्य का कोऑपरेटिव एक्ट है, यही है ना। बोलिए इनके प्रेमचंद्र जी।
Thank you. I fully agree with you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I am on technical points.
Yes.
And on the basis of the constitutional provisions, I am opposing the introduction of the Multi-State Cooperatives Bill 2022. Sir, the first point which I would like to make is, you may kindly go through Article 243, Z capital H, Clause C and Clause D of that definition. That is the Constitution of India. Article 243, capital Z, capital H, and subclause C and D. Subclause C of the provision clearly defines what is a cooperative society. Means a society registered or deemed to be registered under any law relating to cooperative societies for the time being in force in the state. And multi-state cooperative society, as rightly Honorable Speaker has just now mentioned, it is as per the law passed by the Parliament and it belongs to the Union of India. My technical point is, this bill is against the spirit of this definition incorporated in Part 9B of the Constitution, that is newly added amended provision, the cooperative societies. A chapter is also there, in which there is no particular specific provision by which a cooperative society which is incorporated under the state law can be merged into a multi-state cooperative society. That is my technical objection, for which a particular, because Chapter 9B, a newly added chapter in the Constitution, is with a specific provision to distinguish between a cooperative society of the state and a multi-state cooperative society being governed by the Government of India or the Union of India. This is the clear distinction by which a cooperative society is being governed by the state legislature or an act of the Parliament by the multi-state cooperative society, and another one is by the state legislature or the legislative assembly. Here in this case, you may kindly see, my basic political point is, it is against the federal principles of the Constitution, because the federal structure has to be protected. Here in this case, at any time, see clause 6 of the bill. Sir, you have rightly pointed out clause 6 of the bill. If you go through the clause 6, it is very interesting that it is indirectly the central government is encroaching into the rights of a state cooperative society. How it is, see, in clause C, in section 7 of the act is to be amended, in which a new provision is being, any cooperative society may by a resolution passed by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting at a general meeting of the society decides to merge into an existing multi-state cooperative society. This is the provision by which we are disputing. That means a state cooperative society can at any time be merged into a multi-state cooperative society, but the state cooperative society is being governed by a law passed by the state legislature, and it is indirectly coming into the domain of the Union of India, by which it is against the basic spirit of the Constitution, by which Part 9B of the Constitution is being incorporated as an amended chapter. That is a technical objection which I would like to make. And second one is, so and 243, along with this 243, another provision also, sir, one second. In 243 ZI, that is very clearly what is the incorporation of a society. What is an incorporation of a society under the state law is also well mentioned in 243 capital Z capital I. Incorporation of cooperative subject to the provisions of this part. The legislature of a state may by law make provisions with respect to incorporation, regulation and winding up of a cooperative society. That is also being governed by a state law or the legislative assembly's law made by the state legislative assembly. So when a particular specific provision regarding the state cooperative society and distinctly a multi-state cooperative society is there, here indirectly the Union of India, the government of India is coming with a legislation with an intent to make all the state cooperative societies be merged with the multi-state cooperative society, by which the taking the right of the state governments, it is against the federal character and the federal polity, which is a basic character of the Constitution. The basic features of the Constitution cannot be amended. That is why I am saying that it is outside the scope of the legislative competence of this House. Hence, I am opposing the introduction of this bill. Thank you very much, sir, for providing this much of time.
माननीय मंत्री जी, इनके प्रेमचंद्र जी जो विषय उठाया कि कोई भी सोसाइटी को, एक मिनट बस मैं मंत्री जी को, कोई भी सोसाइटी को जो विषय उठाया उन्होंने गंभीर कि राज्य की कोई भी सोसाइटी को क्या मल्टी स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी में बदल सकते हैं, ये अधिकार इसमें ले रहे हो क्या? आप जब भाषण, अभी नहीं बोल रहा मैं, जब बोले तो ये पॉइंट क्लियर करना। सी थॉमस जी नो, डी रवि कुमार जी नो, मनीष तिवारी जी।
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to oppose the introduction of the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Amendment Bill, as this bill violates the object of the 97th Constitutional Amendment, Article 243ZI, inserted by the 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2011 and Article 43B of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, I will point out to 5 specific clauses of the bill which are beyond the legislative competence of this House, and therefore we are opposing the introduction of the bill. First, clause 6...
अभी तो आप विद्वान है, अभी तो केवल इतना ही डिस्कस करना है अपन को कि संसद को इसकी विधायी क्षमता है या ना। जब आप पूरा विषय जब इस पर डिस्कस हो तो पूरा
स्पीकर साहब, मैं वही प्रावधान के और आपका ध्यान दिलवा रहा हूं जो प्रावधान सीधा इस सदन के लेजिस्लेटिव कॉम्पिटेंस के बाहर है। मैं उससे बाहर जाने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहा। First, clause 6 of the bill inserts subsection 10 into section 17, creating an ambiguity by allowing any cooperative society to merge into an existing multi-state cooperative society. This is beyond the legislative competence of the Union, as state cooperative societies are within the exclusive jurisdiction of the states. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, sir, clause 13 substitutes section 35 to now prohibit the redemption of shares of multi-state cooperative societies without the approval of the government. This strikes at the very heart of the principles of autonomous functioning of cooperative societies, which the 97th Amendment sought to introduce by virtue of Article 45B of the Constitution. Third, Clause 17 completely usurps the object of the Parent Act as well as the 97th Amendment by substituting Section 45 with a central election authority to be appointed by the central government. Fourth, a fund is sought to be created by virtue of Clause 24 of the bill, inserting Section 63A, 63B, and 63C into the Parent Act. Again, by putting an additional burden on cooperatives, infringes upon the cardinal principle of autonomous functioning as provided in Article 43B of the Constitution. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I thank you for your indulgence, Clause 45 provides for an overriding of the board and appointing an administrator in its place who may not even be a member of the society. This clause also substantially contravenes the 97th Amendment to the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would very, very humbly like to urge the Treasury benches that this bill should be withdrawn, it should be reconsidered, because it violates the federal spirit of the Constitution. It actually attacks the federal spirit of the Constitution with a sledgehammer. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Shri Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary ji.
Sir, I rise to oppose the introductions of the bill under the nomenclature of Multi-State Cooperative Societies Amendment Bill 2022 under Rule 72/2. Sir, already the explicit reasons of opposing the legislative document has been deliberated by our colleagues. Sir, I would like to draw your attention that cooperative society is a state subject under 7th schedule via entry 32 of the state list in India in the Constitution. It has been already inserted. So it is basically a state subject. Absolutely, that you are also raising a very pertinent argument which also needs to be delved into. But here in this issue, so there is a clear indication that the central government has been encroaching upon the territory of the state government. That is why Euror and the uproarious protestation has been cropping up across the nation. Sir, because this government has always been pleading for cooperative federalism, so this should have been reflected before the preparation of this legislation. I don't know whether all the stakeholders, I mean state governments, have been consulted upon before the preparation of this legislation or not. Sir, in the Cooperative Rehabilitation and Construction Fund to be constituted according to this bill, the profit-making multi-state cooperative has to pay 1 crore or 1% of the net profit. Strangely, the government is not paying a single paisa. This is illogical way one profit-making cooperative society shall pay for the revival of another loss-making cooperative society. This does not happen in the Companies Act also. So that is why, sir, we are opposing the bill, because the central government has empowered itself with the vast powers under the present bill. This may lead to concentration of power with the central government, which may impact the autonomy and functioning of multi-sectoral cooperative society and may create potential for misuse. So take for example, under the present bill, the cooperative ombudsman will be appointed directly by the center without any apparent monitoring system to prevent corruption. And ombudsman is supposed to be unbiased. Sir, हो गया? सर हो गया सर एक मिनट सर हो गया सर an ombudsman is supposed to be unbiased and keep a check on the government by preventing them from abusing power. However, where an ombudsman is appointed directly by the government itself, it creates scope for undue influence over the decision of the ombudsman. That is why, sir, my only submission before you and the government, that given the intricacies, given the ramification and encroachment upon the state territory, this bill should be referred to the standing committee, sir. This is my only submission before you, so that it could be further scrutinized and all the controversies could be wiped off before presentation of the bill afresh.
A.F. Arif ji.
Cooperative Societies Amendment Bill 2020. As per the constitutional list and also judgment from Supreme Court, the central government can make any law without the consultation of the states in cooperative societies. The amendments in the bill is a proposal for the complete centralization of authority, and this is a frontal attack on the federal principle of our constitution. Necessary consultation is needed to the state governments. So I also support the members who are raise the arguments against the introduction of the bill may be sent to the subject committee, concerned as a committee.
Sogat Rai ji.
Under Rule 72(1) of the Rules of Procedure, I beg to oppose the introduction of the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Amendment Bill 2022. Originally, in 2002, when the bill first came, it was intended to facilitate the voluntary formation and democratic functioning of cooperatives as people's institutes. But it seems that with this bill, the central government is planning to take away the powers of the state government with regard to cooperatives. Sir, it has 4 proposals. One, setting up of cooperative election authority. Earlier, cooperative elections were looked after by the state government. It takes that away. 2.
No.
Sir.
चलो आप मैं भी
बहुत
कोऑपरेटिव में
brief
रहा
कर
हूँ,
दो।
इसलिए मैं भी कोऑपरेटिव के सिस्टम को जानता हूँ।
मैं जानता हूँ, आप बहुत एक्सपर्ट हैं। कोटा में जो कोऑपरेटिव बना उसमें आप मेंबर थे, अब सेक्रेटरी भी थे, मुझे पता है सर। तो आपके बारे में हम लोग सब कुछ जानकारी लेके ही बोलते हैं। Sir, they are proposing a cooperative revival fund. And 3, as Adhin mentioned, they are planning to set up a cooperative ombudsman. 4, they are increasing monetary penalties on multi-state cooperative societies. Sir, एक ही चीज आपको संज्ञान में लाऊं कि 2011 में 97 अमेंडमेंट हुआ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, जिसमें कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी आ गया। देखिए, कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज बिकेम पार्ट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। सर, उसमें क्या बोलता, इनकॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी कौन करेगा? ये स्टेट करेगा, ये क्लियरली मेंशन्ड है। ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन
अपन इस पे डिटेल डिस्कस हो जब कर लें।
सर, 1 मिनट में खत्म कर दें। एंड दी 243 ZR gives an application to multi-state cooperative societies. ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट में लाए। ये बिल में बोला गया, बिल में ऑब्जेक्शन रीजन में बोला गया कि वो अमेंडमेंट के बाद, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट के बाद, in view of the insertion of the said part, it has become imperative to amend the act. It's not clear to me how the act is related to the constitution amendment. 2011, the amendment came. This government has been in power for 8 years. They have not amended. Suddenly, Mr. Shah comes forward with amendment of this. Sir, this bill impinges on the rights of the state. It impinges on the right of people to form cooperative on their own will, and it basically will act in bringing more control over multi-state cooperative societies by the central government. I am totally opposed. It's undemocratic, it's anti-constitutional, and it violates the spirit of cooperatives and cooperation in the... Sir, send it to a standing committee, please. You have the power. Yeah. If you write one line, then everything will go to standing committee. ये आप कर दीजिए.
I am not a lawyer like other members. I am on a point of common man's view. This Multi-State Cooperative Societies Amendment Bill 2022 was stoutly opposed, being opposed by me, because of the reason. Sir, actually, it gives an impression as though the chairman and vice chairman and members and the secretary are just selected by the central government only. There is no democratic policies or principles adopted. Yes, sir. That is why the objection is there is no point of view from the democratic elected public. It is intended for the betterment of opportunities that has to be extended to the. No, this is nothing but, I will conclude, don't worry, I am not going to intrude in any other thing. Actually, the common man has got the opportunity by using the cooperative movement. He has to say what has to be served by the government by distributing the usual way of small helps by way of cooperative movements. But this movement is totally, it has to be reckoned by democracy means only. But there is no democracy. Actually, government is making everybody, the heads of the institution are appointed by the government only. This is not fair. So that is a main objection from us. This may be not, since it has to be referred to standing committee.
माननीय मंत्री जी।
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, अभी माननीय सदस्यों द्वारा कुछ प्रश्न आए हैं, तो सबसे बड़ा प्रश्न है कि संसद की क्षमता इस विधेयक को लाने की है कि नहीं। तब मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि अभी माननीय सदस्य ने एक प्रश्न किया था कि स्टेट के पर यह हमला हो रहा है। मान्यवर इस प्रकार का नहीं है। एक राज्य में जो सहकारिता की सोसाइटी काम करती हैं वो राज्य की होती हैं, और एक राज्य से ज़्यादा में जो काम करती हैं वो मल्टी स्टेट होती हैं। तब मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि खंड 6 में राज्य सहकारी समितियों के बहुराज्य सहकारी समिति में विलय का प्रावधान पहले से है, परंतु ये राज्यों के सहकारी सोसाइटी में नियमों के अधीन ही है। 2002 के अधिनियम में भी राज्य सोसाइटियों के बहुराज्य सोसाइटी में परिवर्तन करने का प्रावधान पहले से ही आपके यहाँ है। दूसरा, एक प्रश्न आया कि संविधान के 97 संशोधन को हम उच्च न्यायालय में निरस्त कर दिया गया था, पर सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने जुलाई 2021 में ये निर्णय दिया गया, ये संशोधन बहुराज्य सहकारी समितियों पर लागू होगा, इसलिए इस संशोधन विधेयक की आवश्यकता पड़ी। दूसरा, हमारे यहाँ चुनाव प्राधिकरण का जो सवाल आया है, ये प्रावधान में संविधान के 97 संशोधन के अनुसार है, और शेयर्स के मोचन का जो प्रावधान अंकित मूल्य पर प्रस्तावित है, जो कि सहकारिता के सिद्धांतों के अनुसार। दूसरा, माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, इन सहकारी समितियों के उद्देश्य केवल एक राज्य तक ही सीमित है। वो सूची 2 राज्य की प्रविष्टि 32 में आती है एवं राज्यों के सहकारी समितियों के पंजीकों द्वारा पंजीकृत की जाती है। यह विधेयक बहुराज्य सहकारी समितियों के लिए है जिनके उद्देश्य एक से अधिक राज्यों में है, जो संघ सूची की प्रविष्टि 44 के अंतर्गत आती है और केंद्रीय पंजीयक द्वारा इसके पंजीकृत किया जाता है। यह विधेयक पूर्णतः संसद की विधायी क्षमता में है। यह विधेयक संविधान की 7वीं अनुसूची की सूची 1 संघ सूची की प्रविष्टि 44 के अंतर्गत प्रस्तावित है। बहुराज्य सहकारी सोसाइटी अधिनियम 2002 व उससे पहले बहुराज्य सहकारी सोसाइटी अधिनियम 1984 में भी इस प्रविष्टि के अंतर्गत संसद में ये पारित किए गए हैं। अतः ये विधेयक संसद की विधायी क्षमता में है। बाकी प्रश्नों के बारे में विधेयक पर खंडवार चर्चा जब होगी तब उसके उत्तर दिए जाएंगे। अतः मैं बहुराज्य सहकारी सोसाइटी संशोधन विधेयक 2022 के पुनर्स्थापन का अनुरोध करता हूं।
बात करेंगे, आप सबसे इस विषय पर चर्चा करेंगे। आप निश्चिंत रहे। नहीं, आपको सबसे विचार करेंगे इस विषय पर लाने के पहले, फिर विचार करेंगे। प्रश्न ये कि विधेयक को प्रस्तावित करने की अनुमति प्रदान की जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में, हाँ वालों पक्ष में। अब मंत्री जी विधेयक को प्रस्तावित करें।
मैं बहुराज्य सहकारी सोसाइटी संशोधन विधेयक 2022 के पुनर्स्थापन का अनुरोध करता हूं।
आइटम नंबर 14 नियम 377 के अधीन आज सभी मामले बोलने का मौका मिलेगा। 377 के अधीन श्री गौरव गोगोई जी।
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय. The prime reason for India's poor performance in combating air pollution is the insufficient capacity building of municipal corporations and district subdivision administrations under the National Clean Air Program. Sir, reportedly, most of the cities mandated to submit their respective city action plans have only replicated each other's initiatives. Some local governments have either underspent or diverted the majority of funds towards projects not at all related to the National Clean Air Program. Comprehensive monitoring mechanisms must be developed by the union government to prevent such activities of the local governments. From the financial year 2022-23, presenting evidence for the increased number of good days and reduction in PM10 annual average concentration is mandatory to receive the 15 Finance Commission recommended grants. This requirement neglects the need for essentials such as building a robust monitoring framework. Only 69 out of the 132 NCAP cities have real-time monitoring stations. In 2020-2021, the NCAP was clubbed with other items under control of pollution, and the budget was marginally reduced. Many mostly polluted cities are provided with reduced NCAP funds or no funds at all. Thus, the states must be provided freedom in NCAP funds allocation, since the top-down approach is not apt to reduce air pollution. Thank you very much.
रोडमल नागर जी.
मध्य प्रदेश में महत्वपूर्ण धार्मिक स्थान मां
माननीय सभासदों, माननीय सभापति जी.